All right, welcome to segment 7, specifically the redaction process. And now there's going to be probably 2 segments to this. The first segment is for law enforcement sworn personnel only. So if you're a peace officer in Arizona, if you are a sworn officer, there is a certain redaction process you can do to remove your name or personally identifying information from specific court dockets. So if your name or personal information appears in a specific court docket or dockets, you can go in and individually have those dockets redacted. So that's what we're going to talk about first. Now, in the next segment, we'll talk about more generic redaction from public records for anybody in law enforcement as a law enforcement officer, a prosecutor, or support staff in any law enforcement agency. And that's a much more broad category of removing yourself from various public records. So let's jump in here. And if you're with the Arizona Attorney General's office, these documents are available on SharePoint.azag.gov, and under the Employee Services tab up there in the upper left. I'm going to back up here a second. If you see up there the highlighted Employee Services tab, that's where you'll click, and it's circled right now. And then in the lower right-hand corner is the Resources, Redaction of Public Information, or redaction of information option, and it will provide you with this PDF that you can either download or you can find these clickable links. Again, this is for Attorney General employees only. And we're going to go through each of these links in case you don't have access to this. If you're another law enforcement agency and you don't have access to this particular document, we're going to go through each of these links and talk about how to find your information for redaction purposes. Okay, now this segment, like I said earlier, is for specifically for cops, and you can have your information removed from court dockets. So if you go to azcourts.gov and you scroll down just a little bit there, you're going to find personal information redaction heading, and in there is an instruction, affidavit and instructions for use by eligible public employees or officials. And so you want to download that, and its instruction page is about, I think, 2 pages, as I recall, 2 pages for court redaction. And basically what you're going to do is do a search in the Arizona Supreme Court search website and retrieve the document that you want restricted. So this is a case-by-case process for any case that you've testified in court or where your personally identifying information has appeared as a matter of public record in a court case. Then you can have that docket redacted, your name redacted. And so you will have to go there and download or print each of those dockets, and you'll have to fill out a separate affidavit for each case that you want restricted. So if you go to supremecourt.az.gov, public access case lookup, then you can find, you can do a search for all of these different cases. You do have to fill out the CAPTCHA, I'm not a robot field, and then you'll be able to do a search based on your first name and last name, date of birth, what court, click the search button, and then you're going to print every single document that shows up. You have to have all of them, and make sure you print them because you're going to need information off of each of them. So then you're going to go to the affidavit, and there's a separate link on azcourts.gov to print out the affidavit. That's the 2-page document that I was referring to earlier. And as you can see by kind of looking at the samples that I'm mostly covering here with my mugshot, here's a bigger view of them. The key to this form is articulating why you fear for your safety or for that of your family. And I know as a police officer we don't like to admit that we're ever in fear of our safety because that kind of belies the warrior mindset. However, for legal purposes, you have to be afraid for your safety. So be afraid, at least while you're filling out this form. and indicate why you're afraid. And a simple statement would be that I work for a law enforcement agency and have been instrumental in convicting felons or removing people's civil liberties or their civil rights. And they may or may not have expressed threats towards you and your family, implied or direct, doesn't matter. So that would be important to articulate. And then the next thing that you want to pay attention to is on page 2. You're going to begin listing those documents of public record and the date that they were filed. That's why you print them out, so you've got all that information there as you fill out this page. And you need a separate affidavit for every court case. And the reason there's multiple lines here on page 2 is because you need to do it for each page, right? Or the docket number, the page number, as it relates to that case. Okay, so that's basically it. You do have to have this form signed and notarized, and then you want to send it. If you work for the Attorney General's office, you want to send it to Autumn Maya. Her name appears here. Her email address is autumn.maya@azag.gov, and she will be the point of contact for redacting your information. Next, we're going to talk about any other public officials and how to remove your information generically from all public records. But we'll do that in the next segment. So thank you for watching this. Hopefully it was helpful, and we'll see you in the next and last segment.